The other day, a member of Congress sent me a clip from back in her home district where a Muslim American leader was attacking her, accusing her of lying because she had mentioned that Hamas had committed rapes against civilians on October 7th. Of course, it is not a lie. It is an ugly fact, though the rapes have not gotten as much attention as the murders. Israeli authorities have only recently begun their investigations into these atrocities. But sadly, often the evidence has been lost along with the victims. A warning, the story we're about to show you contains graphic content, and it assuredly will be disturbing to most viewers.
In the aftermath of the October 7th attacks by Hamas, Israel's focus immediately turned to war and to identifying the bodies of those slaughtered by Hamas in Israel's largest mass casualty attack. But now Israel is launching an investigation into allegations of rape and other forms of sexual violence on that deadly day. Israeli police are starting to build rape cases, relying on eyewitness testimony, video, and forensic evidence, as well as Hamas interrogations. Dr. Kochav El-Kayam Levy, named chair of the Civil Commission on October 7th crimes by Hamas against women and children, points to one reason why the investigations have been so difficult.
We'll never know everything that has happened to them. We know that most women who were raped and who were sexually assaulted were also murdered. And it will take time, even in other atrocities, it takes time until the crimes against women are revealed, until survivors even share their stories.
Still, CNN found witnesses to the atrocities and their aftermath. G, a paramedic in Israel's elite 669 Special Tactics Rescue Unit, went house to house in Kibbutz Be'eri, one of the sites of the worst massacres. He did not want to be identified on camera.
While we're storming through those houses, one of the doors I open, it's a bedroom. I see two girls, two teenagers, I guess 13 or 14 years old. One is lying on the floor, one is lying on a bed. One on the floor, she's lying on her stomach. Her pants are pulled down towards her knees. And there's a bullet wound on the backside of her neck near her head. And there's a puddle of blood around her head. And there's remains of semen on the lower part of her back.
G says the other teenage girl also appeared to have been assaulted.
There's a bullet wound on the upper part of her chest, and there's bruises all over her body. So, these are two girls that were just killed, executed, perhaps also raped in their own bedroom.
Israeli police say the bodies at Shura, one of a handful of sites where dead bodies are brought for identification, show trauma consistent with rape and assault. Morgue workers say these women did not die peaceful deaths.
Some of the women came in just with underwear, and the underwear was often bloody. Some of them had underwear on that was very bloody, and that was very difficult to see also. We also saw most of the women were shot at least once in the body, but then they were shot in the head. And they were shot in the head many times. And it often seemed to be gratuitous cruelty, abject cruelty, because it seemed to have been done just to mutilate them. The women we saw were not just killed. They were cruelly, cruelly mutilated in many parts of their bodies.
Women's groups say the humiliation women experienced as they were paraded through the street, thrown on the backs of motorcycles, and degraded either before or after they were killed at the festival. That also constitutes gender-based violence. Here's what one Nova Festival organizer told us that he saw.
What we found in the area, on the field, outside the safe zone, there is not a doubt about what our girls went through, the terrorists. We found naked women stripped out without any clothes. Their legs were spread out. And some of them were butchered.
Israeli police acknowledged that the investigation is likely to take months. Tuesday, police held a press briefing in which one witness said she saw a gang rape. Quote, "They bent someone over, and I understood he was raping her. And then he was passing her on to someone else. She was alive. She stood on her feet and she was bleeding from her back. I saw that he was pulling her hair. She had long brown hair. I saw him chop off her breast. And then he was throwing it toward the road, tossed it to someone else, and they started playing with it. I remember seeing another person raping her, and while he was still inside her, he shot her in the head. Another shocking part of all of this to these women and investigators, the absence of international outrage, including a United Nations statement a week after these terrorist attacks that did not mention these accusations at all, as if the rape of Israeli women does not count as rape.
It's much worse than just silence or an insult to us as Israeli women and to our children and to our people. It's when they are failing to acknowledge what happened here, they are failing humanity.
Why would it be that the international community and the United Nations would be silent about these crimes? They seem to be vocal about so much else.